This is Algebra 1, Semester 2. Algebra 1, Semester 2. It's a unit called Inequalities Review, which is number 6. And it's a lesson within that called Compound Inequalities Practice, which is a lesson number 6 within unit number 6. It's on creatormath.com under the Algebra 1 tab. You might need to Google creatormath.weebly.com to find the site. The instructions are copy the following problems into your composition book on the correct pages according to the table of contents with the notes for those pages from creatormath.com. So I'm going to model for you how to find those notes. That can be difficult for students. I do it almost every video. Here's where you're headed. Here's the actual name of the site, creatormath.weebly.com. Type that into Google. Hopefully you can find the home page. Looks like this. Once you do, a lot of you have questions still about how to do that composition book. Just scroll down on this page, and it's not perfect, but it's got a lot of your questions answered. Read the instructions, watch the videos and the sample videos on comp books, adhere to the turn-in dates of when they're due, put all the right stuff on the right pages, and also the notes, which will help you through the practice sets. And for that, we're going to go to the tab of the class of the video we're making and or the class you're in. And you're going to find 5 things here. You're going to find the notes, the problem sets like we're doing right now, the video of the problem set like we're making right now, the page numbers on which the notes go in your composition book, and the PDF of all the vocabulary we use through the entire school year. So if you're not getting 100% on your vocabulary practices, I would urge you to realize that there's a complete PDF you can download to your device, and it's searchable. Just Google, how do I search a PDF with whatever type of device you're using, and follow those directions. It's a little bit different for each device. Next, we're going to scroll to the semester we're in, and that's very important because there's a table of contents for both semesters, and they are different. So make sure it's the correct one for the semester you're in. It's so important to me, this table of contents, that I ask you to copy it in its entirety onto pages 2 through 6 of your composition book. Why? Because it has all the page numbers of where everything goes in your comp book. Please write that in. If you haven't done it already, stop what you're doing now and get that done. Now we're going to go to the unit that we're looking at right now. It's an Inequalities Review unit. All of these are the lessons down the left. We are in lesson number 6 right now, so we're going to go straight to lesson number 6, Compound Inequalities. Here are the page numbers on which the notes go in your comp book. Please don't use this video's word for it, but go back and find the original table of contents. At the time you're viewing this, these page numbers probably will have changed. Here will be the notes. That'll be linked there when that's up. It's not up right now, but it will be by the time you get there. The problem set is what we're doing right now. You can download that if you like, and the video solution will be linked here. Okay, with that said, let's go and look at the problems. There's always some review on these. And so they're talking about, just to make sure you remember all the symbols. What does this symbol mean? It means greater than. What does this symbol mean? It means less than. What does this symbol mean? It means greater than or equal to. 2 things. What does this symbol mean? It means less than or equal to. What's an open dot mean on a number line? Means the value is excluded. And this is all pretty repetitive, just going over and over some of the basics of how this works. I oftentimes find that students don't know the basics, and then they can't do sort of the more complicated parts of the topic. The value is excluded. Okay. What does a solid dot mean? Solid dot means that the value is included. Given a parentheses, what does this mean? This is set notation. It means just like the open dot, the value is excluded. And how do you model a solid dot with set notation? You need a bracket. So bracket dot means the value is included. Okay. What does this symbol mean? This is a positive infinity. And we've covered those others so many times, you guys. Go back and see a prior video if you don't know those. There's so many times that we've gone over that. What does this mean? This means a negative infinity. If there's an infinity to the right on the number line, which goes to positive numbers, then positive numbers infinity, then there must be a negative infinity. That's going all the way to the left on the number line. And if it was a vertical number line, up would be positive infinity, down would be negative infinity. All right? Is infinity a number? No, it's not, you guys. Infinity is a concept. All right, so infinity is not a number. If you just pick a number out, say a large number, say a billion. Say a large negative number, a negative billion. Is that infinity? No, that's an actual number. The difference with infinity is it goes on and on forever, either positive to a larger number or negative to an increasingly large negative number. So no, infinity is a concept that numbers either increase or decrease in the form of negative infinity forever. So we do use a bracket for it in set notation. We do use a parentheses for it in set notation. We're not allowed to use a bracket because a bracket says the value is included, and that would be a violation because a concept is not a number. You can't include it. All right. So let's get straight into the compound inequalities. Here's our first. 11 is less than x plus 5 is less than 14. We're going to subtract 5 in the middle here, and this is a little bit unique. Students learn the equation solving steps of what you do to one side, you must do to the other. Now we have basically 3 columns. We have a left, a middle, and a right. What we do in the center to isolate this x, we now must do on those both of the other columns. So if we subtract 5 in the middle here, we're going to subtract 5 over here and subtract 5 here. 3 places we're dealing with now. Okay, so these are gone. We get x is less than, 11 minus 5 is 6, 14 minus 5 is 9. So we have x is greater than 6. See how the large side is toward the x. And we have x is less than 9. We could also say 6 is less than x, which is less than 9. We can say this various ways. Here it is right here. 6 is less than 9, and what I'd like to see on this is notation. Right, the set notation would be like this. Since 6 is not included and 9 is not included, we use a parentheses 6 comma 9. This is not a coordinate location. This is a set notation, right? So I'm going to squeeze one of these in right here, and you're going to have 2 answers on this one, right, by the time you get to it. All right, let's do the next compound inequality. We have a negative 3 is less than or equal to a 1/2 4x plus 6 in parentheses less than 5. We're going to distribute this in here. First, 1/2 times 4x would be 2x, because that's half of 4x. Half of 6 would be plus 3, and we're going to rewrite this. We're going to subtract 3 from all sides in this case. Gone here. Okay, let's come over here. Can I still see? Let's move over a little. So negative 3 minus 3 looks like a negative 6 over there. Less than or equal to is still here. These are gone, so you got a 2x in the middle now, and you got a less than 5 minus 3 is 2. So now we're going to divide everything by 2, and that'll get rid of this in the middle. All right, so negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3, and there's still this symbol. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So what we have is an x greater than or equal to negative 3 and an x less than 1. We could also read it negative 3 is less than or equal to x, which is less than 1. That's this one here. Plus 3 minus 3. I don't know. I don't like this. I think this is a negative 3 right here, you guys. That's what I think. Because I've got negative 3 up front. Did I write it right? And then, aren't I subtracting 3 from all sides? Isn't negative 3 minus 3? I'm not adding 3. Right? This symbol, do I have the signs right? Looks like I do. So I think this is negative 3 is less than or equal to x is less than 1. And I would do a set notation. I'm going to use a bracket because the negative 3 is included because of the equals, comma, a parentheses because there's no equals here, so we cannot include the 1, so we use a parentheses. So I'm going to include this too. You're going to have 2 answers to this. All right, solve the following inequality. 0 is, how much space do I have? Greater than negative 2 minus 4 is greater than or equal to negative 6. So let's add 4 to all sides. Negative 2x less than 0 plus 4 is 4. This is greater than or equal to, just checking quickly my signs, should be negative 2 here because it's plus 4, divided by negative 2. Now, anytime we divide through or multiply through by a negative in an inequality, and go back to prior lessons to see this proved out, we get to switch the signs, all right? Or we have to switch the signs. I guess I say we get to switch the signs. This is gone. This switches to this. This switches to this. This becomes negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. And this becomes 4 divided by negative 2 is negative 2 right here. Okay, positive divided by negative is negative. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So what it looks like I got is -2 is less than, x is less than or equal. This is correct. Let's go ahead and put it in set notation too. All right. Set notation would be not including the -2 because there's no equals, comma, including the 1 because there's an equals, so a bracket. That's going to be here. There'll be 2 answers on this, you guys. Go slowly when you watch this video and see the actual problem set when you work it out. Okay. That's the rule. Go back and see 2 lessons prior where we talk about that extensively and prove it in a couple different ways. So make sure you're matching up the title of this video with the practice set you're doing. Otherwise, you'll be a little bit lost. This is Algebra 1, Semester 2. It's a unit called Inequalities Review, which is number 6, and it's a lesson within that, Compound Inequalities Practice, which is lesson 6 within Unit 6. All right. This is on creatormath.com under the Algebra 1 tab, and I hope this helps.